means nothing, but to mean these words is everything. If you could mean them for just an instant, there would be no further sorrow possible. If you could mean them for just an instant, there would be no further sorrow possible. For you in any form or any place or time, heaven would be completely given back to full awareness. Memory of God entirely restored. The resurrection of all creation fully recognized. No one can mean these words and not be healed. I want the peace of God. 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 To say these words means nothing, but to mean these words is everything. Well, I'm Miracle Willie, forgiveness teacher from the Ozarks, here on lesson 185 out of the Foundation for Inner Peace version of A Course in Miracles, here on Wednesday, July the 3rd of 2024. So let's pick up on our lesson. The name of God is my inheritance. Excuse me. Wrong page. I want the peace of God. To say these words is nothing, but to mean these words is everything. If you could but mean them for just an instant, there would be no further sorrow possible. For you in any form, in any place or time, heaven would be completely given back to full awareness. Memory of God entirely restored. The resurrection of all creation fully recognized. I want the peace of God. No one can mean these words and not be healed. He cannot play with dreams nor think he is himself a dream. He cannot make a hell and think it real. He wants the peace of God and it is given him. For what is all he wants? For that is all he wants, and that is all he will receive. Many have said these words, but few indeed have meant them. You have but to look upon the world you see around you to be sure how very few they are. The world would be completely changed should any two agree these words express the only thing they want. Let us be those two. Let us see a new world. Let's say it and mean it. I want the peace of God. Two minds with one intent become so strong that what they will becomes the will of God. For minds can only join in truth. In dreams, no two can share the same intent. To each, the hero of the dream is different, the outcome wanted not the same for both. Loser and gainer merely shift about in changing patterns, as the ratio of gain to loss and loss to gain takes on a different aspect or another form. Yet compromise alone a dream can bring. Sometimes it takes the form of union, but only the form of union. The meaning must escape the dream, for compromising is the goal of dreaming. Compromising is the goal of dreaming. We want to learn to not compromise. We want to learn to stay fixed on listening to the Holy Spirit's voice and doing only that. Minds cannot unite in dreams. They merely bargain. And what bargain can give them the peace of God? Illusions come to take his place. And what he means is lost to sleeping minds intent on compromise, each to his gain and to another's loss. To mean you want the peace of God is to renounce all dreams. For no one means these words who wants illusions, and who therefore seeks the means which brings illusions. He has looked on them and found them wanting. Now he seeks to go beyond them, recognizing that another dream would offer nothing more than all the others. Dreams are one to him, and he has learned their only difference is one of form, for one will bring the same despair and misery as do the rest. The mind which means that all it wants is peace must join with other minds, for that is how peace is obtained. Again on that, the mind which means that all it wants is peace must join with other minds, for that is how peace is obtained. And when the wish for peace is genuine, the means for finding it is given, in a form each mind that seeks for it in honesty can understand. Whatever form the lesson takes is planned for him in such a way that he cannot mistake it, if his asking is sincere. But if he asks without sincerity, there is no form in which the lesson will meet with acceptance and be truly learned. Let us today devote our practicing to recognizing that we really mean the words we say. We want the peace of God. This is no idle wish. These words do not request another dream be given us. They do not ask for compromise, nor try to make another bargain in the hope that there may yet be one that can succeed where all the rest have failed. To mean these words acknowledges illusions are in vain, requesting the eternal in the place of shifting dreams which seem to change in what they offer, but are one in nothingness. Today, devote your practice periods to careful searching of your mind to find the dreams you cherish still. Okay, that's what we're going to do in our quiet 2 5-minute practice periods, or longer, 10 or 15 would be better, in the morning and in the evening. And what we're going to do, it says, is we're going to say, I want the peace of God, and we're going to really want it. Today, devote your practice periods to careful searching of your mind to find the dreams you cherish still. What do you ask for in your heart? Forget the words you use in making your requests. Consider but what you believe will comfort you and bring you happiness, because that's what you're really praying for, what you think will bring you happiness and comfort. Are they dreams, or is it the peace of God that you've found through unity with your brothers and sisters? Consider but what you believe will comfort you and bring you happiness. But be you not dismayed by lingering illusions, for their form is not what matters now. Let not some dreams be more acceptable, reserving shame and secrecy for others. They are one, and being one, one question should be asked of all of them. Is this what I would have in place of heaven and the peace of God? This is the choice you make. Be not deceived that it is otherwise. No compromise is possible in this. You choose God's peace, or you have asked for dreams. And dreams will come as you requested them. Yet will God's peace come just as certainly. And yet will God's peace come just as certainly, and to remain with you forever. It will not be gone with every twist and turning of the road, to reappear unrecognized in forms which shift and change with every step you take. You want the peace of God, and so do all who seem to seek for dreams. For them as well as for yourself, you ask but this when you make this request with deep sincerity. For thus you reach to what they really want, and join your own intent with what they seek above all things, perhaps unknown to them, but sure to you. You have been weak at times, uncertain in your purpose and unsure of what you wanted, where to look for it, and where to turn for help in the attempt. Help has been given you, and would you not avail yourself of it by sharing it? No one who truly seeks the peace of God can fail to find it, for he merely asks that he deceive himself no longer, by denying to himself what is God's will. Who can remain unsatisfied who asks for what he has already? Who could be unanswered who requests an answer which is his to give. The peace of God is yours. For you was peace created, given you by its Creator and established as his own eternal gift. How can you fail when you but ask for what he wills for you? And how could your request be limited to you alone? No gift of God can be unshared. No gift of God can be unshared. It is this attribute that sets the gifts of God apart from every dream that ever seemed to take the place of truth. No one can lose and everyone must gain whenever any gift of God has been requested and received by anyone. God gives but to unite. To take away is meaningless to him. And when it is as meaningless to you, you can be sure you share one will with him and he with you. Let's catch that again. This paragraph 13, next to the last paragraph of this section of our reading. No one can lose and everyone must gain whenever any gift of God has been requested and received by anyone. God gives but to unite. To take away is meaningless to him. And when it is as meaningless to you, you can be sure you share one will with him and he with you. And you will also know you share one will with all your brothers, whose intent is yours. It may not be known to them yet in this world, but it is known in the resurrection where they live, and it can be known to you and to them in this world. Just see the beauty in each other. Let go of the guilt, the sinful perception. And the last paragraph. It is this one intent we seek today, uniting our desires with the need of every heart, the call of every mind, the hope that lies beyond despair, the love attack would hide, the brotherhood that hate has sought to sever, but which still remains as God created it. With help like this beside us, can we fail today as we request the peace of God be given us? You know, whenever I listen to those near-death experiences, one of the things that always, or I should say most of the time seems to be one of the things that they bring back is that deep sense of peace. That didn't matter what they did, they still have that deep sense of peace when they leave the body. So let's don't leave the body, at least not the physical body. I mean, we can leave it in mind, and we can come back to it to serve the purpose in this world. But let's learn to find that peace that's always there. I want the peace of God. To say these words is nothing, but to mean these words is everything. Okay, well, let's take a look at our text reading for today. And we're ready for we're in chapter 13, the attainment of peace. Section 4 is the obstacles to peace. And this last obstacle, D, the fourth obstacle, the fear of God. And before we read it, let's look what's going on around the world. American Redneck Day. I feel right at home today. Compliment your mirror day. Always see the good in your mirror. I put a big old mirror in my living room, so I'd always check to make sure the Son of God was happy. It's 6 foot wide and 8 foot long, and every time I walk by, I put it on there back in 1993. And I just wanted to, after my wife had left this body, I wanted to make sure the Son of God was happy. So I kept watching in the mirror. It still hangs there today. Disobedience Day. That's probably a good thing to do if there's something that's being asked of you that's not in harmony with truth. Like if someone asks you to go fight in a war and kill someone, I'd say, nope, can't do that. That was a basis of Henry David Thoreau's civil disobedience and Gandhi's passive resistance as a path to freedom. So Disobedience Day. Eat Beans Day. I love eating beans and a grain, which is a complete protein. International Plastic Bag Free Day. Boy, that's a good idea. Try to recycle your bags until we come up with solutions that don't use fossil fuels to make disposable bags. Independent beer run day. Go get your beer for the 4th, maybe. Stay out of the sun day. Wear a hat. Get out and get in the sun. Just, protect yourself. Pakistan mulberry, out of edible landscaping. It's the Morris macrura. And it says of the Pakistan, I gotta find it. Where did it? Pakistan mulberry. Pakistan long red to black fruits are very large size and are the largest mulberry fruits we have seen. Up to 5 inches long, but usually around 3 inches. That's a big mulberry. The fruits picked in the ruby red stage are sweet and can be sold to local markets. Pakistan is not adaptable to all regions of Zone 7 through 9. They evolved in an area of mild winters, probably a coastal area. Our winters, or at least mild winters it says, our winters can have fluctuating swings in temperature, causing Pakistan buds to swell, making them susceptible to dieback. The tree can lose branches and suffer winter injury. There are places in the U.S. where the plant grows well and the tree is vigorous and productive. Coastal areas of Zone 8, California and Oregon, are choice places for Pakistan. Because it's coastal area, that's what I really meant to say. Because of their nature, we do not guarantee them against winter kill. Pakistan is an upright tree shaped and can be pruned after fruiting to maintain a manageable size. Zone 7 through 10. Not so good here in my area of the Ozarks. Spaced 15 to 20 foot circles. Okay, and our word for peace will be from the Japanese language of Ainu, which is spoken on the northern island of Hokkaido. And the word for peace is, and there's only 15 people that were speaking it back in right about the turn of the millennium in late 90s. Appuno. So let's encourage them in their language. Keep their indigenous culture alive, if at all possible. Appuno. Okay, the 4th obstacle, the fear of God. What would you see without the fear of God? What would you feel and think if death held no attraction for you? Very simply, you would remember your Father, the creator of life, the source of everything that lives, the Father of the universe and of the universe of universes, and of everything that lies even beyond them would you remember. And as this memory rises in your mind, peace must still surmount a final obstacle, after which is salvation completed and the Son of God entirely restored to sanity. For here your world does end. The 4th obstacle to be surmounted hangs like a heavy veil before the face of Christ. Yet as his face rises beyond it, shining with joy because he is in his Father's love, peace will lightly brush the veil aside and run to meet him and join with him at last. For this dark veil, which seems to make the face of Christ himself like a leper's, and the bright rays of his Father's love that light his face with glory appear as streams of blood, fades in the blazing light beyond it when the fear of death is gone. 3. This is the darkest veil upheld by the belief in death and protected by its attraction. The dedication to death and to its sovereignty is but the solemn vow, the promise made in secret to the ego never to lift this veil, not to approach it, nor even to suspect that it is there. This is the secret bargain made with the ego to keep what lies beyond the veil forever blotted out and unremembered. Here is your promise never to allow union to call you out of separation, the great amnesia in which the memory of God seems quite forgotten, the cleavage of yourself from you, the fear of God, the final step in your dissociation. See how the belief in death would seem to, end quote, save you? For if this were gone, what could you fear but life? It is the attraction of death that makes life seem to be ugly, cruel, and tyrannical. You are no more afraid of death than of the ego. These are your chosen friends. For in your secret alliance with them, you have agreed never to let the fear of God be lifted, so you could look upon the face of Christ and join him in his Father. Every obstacle that peace must flow across is surmounted in just the same way. The fear that raised it yields to the love beyond, and so the fear is gone. And so it is with this. The desire to get rid of peace and drive the Holy Spirit from you fades in the presence of the quiet recognition that you love him. The exaltation of the body is given up in favor of the Spirit, which you love as you could never love the body. And the appeal of death is lost forever, as love's attraction stirs and calls to you. From beyond each of the obstacles to love, love itself has called. And each has been surmounted by the power of the attraction of what lies beyond. Your wanting fear seemed to be holding them in place. Yet when you heard the voice of love beyond them, you answered and they disappeared. And now you stand in terror before what you swore never to look upon. Your eyes look down, remembering your promise to your friends. The loveliness of sin, the delicate appeal of guilt, the, in quotes, holy waxen image of death, and the fear of vengeance of the ego you swore in blood not to desert, all rise and bid you not to raise your eyes. For you realize that if you look on this and let the veil be lifted, they will be gone forever. All your friends, your protectors, and your home will vanish. Nothing that you remember now will you remember. Of course, that's looking at it from the ego's perspective. In the last paragraph of this section, we're going to read a little bit in the next section I, the lifting of the veil. But paragraph 7, it seems to you the world will utterly abandon you if you but raise your eyes. Yet all that will occur is you will leave the world forever. This is the reestablishment of your will. Look upon it open-eyed, and you will never more believe that you are at the mercy of things beyond you, forces you cannot control, and thoughts that come to you against your will. It is your will to look on this. No mad desire, no trivial impulse to forget again, no stab of fear, nor the cold sweat of seeming death can stand against your will. For what attracts you from beyond the veil is also deep within you, unseparated from it and completely one. I, the lifting of the veil, paragraph 8, forget not that you came this far together, you and your brother, and it was surely not the ego that led you here. No obstacle to peace can be surmounted through its help. It does not open up its secrets and bid you look on them and go beyond them. It would not have you see its weakness and learn it has no power to keep you from the truth. The guide who brought you here remains with you. And when you raise your eyes, you will be ready to look on terror with no fear at all. But first lift up your eyes and look on your brother in innocence, born of complete forgiveness of his illusions, and through the eyes of faith that sees the illusions not. No one can look upon the fear of God unterrified unless he has accepted the atonement and learned illusions are not real. No one can stand before this obstacle alone, for he could not have reached this far unless his brother walked beside him. And no one would dare to look on it without complete forgiveness of his brother in his heart. Stand you here a while and tremble not. You will be ready. Let us join together in a holy instant, here in this place, where the purpose given in a holy instant has led you. And let us join in faith that he who brought us here together will offer you the innocence you need, and that you will accept it for my love and his. 10. Nor is it possible to look on this too soon. This is the place to which everyone must come when he is ready. Once he has found his brother, he is ready. Yet merely to reach the place is not enough. A journey without a purpose is still meaningless, and even when it is over, it seems to make no sense. How can you know that it is over unless you realize its purpose is accomplished? Here, with the journey's end before you, you see its purpose, and it is here you choose whether to look upon it or wander on, only to return and make the choice again. And we'll stop on this paragraph 11. To look upon the fear of God does need some preparation. Only the sane can look on stark insanity and raving madness with pity and compassion, but not with fear. For only if they share in it does it seem fearful, and you do share in it until you look upon your brother with perfect faith and love and tenderness. That's how peace is accomplished. I want the peace of God by looking at my brother with innocence and faith and love and tenderness. Before complete forgiveness, you still stand unforgiving. You are afraid of God because you fear your brother. You are afraid of God because you fear your brother. Those you do not forgive, you fear, and no one reaches love with fear beside him. Okay, I want the peace of God. Boy, that sure helps us learn how to do it with our brothers. Let's make sure I get this song right here. Let's want the peace of God. I want the peace of God. I want the peace of God. To say these words means nothing, but to mean these words is everything. If you could mean them for just an instant, there would be no further sorrow possible. If you could mean them for just an instant, there would be no further sorrow possible. For you in any form, in any place or time, heaven would be completely given back to full awareness. Memory of God entirely restored. The resurrection of all creation fully recognized. No one can mean these words and not be healed. I want the peace of God. 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 Appuno, our language in our Japanese tongue of Enu. Appuno. I want the peace of God. Appuno.